Friday. I am here. We are back. So I feel like I've been on a lot this week, but Friday night, this is a great way to spend time talking about self care. I am Marie Celestine, your host tonight, and I'm excited to have Victoria Falk, who is an amazing travel expert. I never really connect self care with travel. I mean, I know people escape to go traveling, but the way you describe it make it seems like, oh my God, I should be doing this on a monthly basis. Just go
Yeah,
somewhere and take care of myself. And so
definitely.
today I wanted my audience to learn a little bit about you, about your business, your story. You've been doing this for a while and you do it with so much excitement where I'm just like, I need to go somewhere. Even if it's in the middle of winter, like there's always a place that I can be as part of my self-care. So I love that. So let's start by, I don't know how you got started into the travel, but before we get into that, I want to actually dive into a favorite thing in terms of how did you practice self-care today? What is one thing you did for yourself today for Victoria?
Yes, thank you for having me here and thank you for asking. And what I did for myself was I got a nice amount of sleep, right? I'm one of those
Ooh,
people
okay.
I used to have like 3 hours sleep a night, so I actually got 8 hours rest before I got up. And then I ate very well today. I
Nice.
ate very well,
Very
had nutritious
nice. Yeah, 8 hours is great. I don't know the last time I got a full 8 hours of sleep. But eight is great. And I'm hoping that will continue for the weekend. And the work that you do, because it's so much fun, I think sometimes you think like work is fun, right? And then I know sometimes you can forget where you just like, I need a moment. I need a break from me to really think about like still as much fun as it is that you need to sort of take some time for you in the process while you're showing
Yeah.
other people like let's have some fun, but
Mhm.
taking care of you is part of that as well. And so I'm excited to share more with people in terms of how you came to that discovery, because a lot of time we are calling the work that we choose to do, it's so connected to our stories in terms of who we are. And I would love for listeners and viewers to know, how did you decide this is the work, this is your calling to help people travel?
Well, my former primary care physician helped me with that. When I was in the
Mm.
doctor's office and she looked me straight in the eye and she said those words I will never forget. Miss Falk, I know you love your job, but your job is killing you.
Oh my God.
I only had to hear that one time.
One time.
Yes, one time. When I left the doctor's office, I went home and I called Carnival Cruise Line and I told the lady, I need help. I'm going to die if I don't take a cruise. And she may have thought I was crazy, but thank goodness she asked me a very nice question. She says, well, are you a travel agent? And when I
Mm-hmm.
asked her, well, what would be the difference if I was a travel agent? So when she explained to me the perks and the benefits of being a travel agent, I said, okay, give me some time to do this. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought about how overwhelmed and how stressed out I was feeling. And I wondered who else is feeling this way. And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to not only go for myself, but I wanted to invite other people to have the experience. And from that very first trip and each and every trip after that, I just felt so alive, so vibrant, so well. And incredibly, all the ailments that I had that day from the doctor's office are gone.
Gone.
Right?
Wow.
Gone. I used to suffer from irregular heartbeat. I had muscle spasms, and these were all related to stress.
Yes.
Being really stressed out, being overwhelmed. I used to have the sharp, pains over here in the neck and
Oh my goodness.
just really a lot of different things. And the muscle spasms were so bad, it felt like somebody was actually punching me in my back. And to
Mm.
be able to shimmy and dance and do all these things. And I actually look younger now at 50. then I looked
Ah,
disturbed, right?
that's
So,
nice. So that's a beautiful
yeah,
thing to age well, also in
yeah,
the process. But that's taking care of yourself, in terms of really sometimes we think about naturally we're gonna either feel a certain way or look a certain way as we get older. And if you feel good because of what you do and you have so many different experiences, you going to new places, meeting new people, I think you seem most happiest when you're around people talking about what you do and
yeah,
then helping them also
mhm,
discover the joy of travel. So you seem like you and your
yes,
element when you're doing that work at different
definitely.
events. Some people will be exhausted, but you don't seem exhausted with like all the different events you go to share
No,
your beauty.
it's exciting, meeting new and wonderful people. And when you're on vacation, that is time set aside to just recoup, rebuild to whatever transformation that you're desiring to make, and to gain clarity of thought. Right? We live in a world today where people are constantly sending us messages. They have too many ways to
Yeah,
contact us, right?
yeah,
And years ago, you had the option to say, I'm going to let the machine pick up, or I'm going to, get to this later. But be around people when your phone is ringing. People, hey, are you going to get that? Look, 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 somebody's trying to reach you, right?
you're like, no,
No, I don't want you to reach right now. I'm in the
yeah,
middle of something. So we have to give ourselves permission to be still. And the funniest thing about it is, like you said, I go to a lot of different events to promote my business. But when I'm on vacation, I'm in that lounge chair, lying
I'm in the
back.
pool, I'm in the water, in the
Yes,
ocean.
yes. I'm sitting by that beach for hours. And it's funny because people come to me and they'll say, are you okay? Is everything all right? And I'm saying, I'm better than
Good,
ever. Relaxing. I'm soaking in the sun. And it
nice.
feels so good when you are out and just getting in tune with nature and experiencing all the beauty around you. It's
I love that.
incredible.
Yeah, it is great. And I think you share a little bit in terms of the benefits of travel and traveling, but also how you practice self care through traveling, right? So you mentioned how you de stress because you're away, you're relaxing more, you able to be still, right? You could just do one thing, lay
Yeah.
by the beach if that's what you want to do all day. You know how to set boundaries in terms of, okay, I am not working. It's not a working vacation, which you see a lot of people do. They have their laptop, they have the whatever. And a lot of people, that's part of their dream as well, to be able to work on the beach. I don't know. But I think it's great to work at a beautiful location. But if you're on vacation, I think a lot of time, many people have a hard time separating work
Yes.
from
Yeah.
vacation and don't know how to really truly just be able to relax and not feel the need to answer the phone calls, check the
Yes.
email, leave the laptop in your room, and actually just be in the
Yes.
present and just simply enjoying the experience and being with other people. So, like, what do you think
Yes.
that is? Like, what do you think we have such a hard time separating work from? I want to almost say living because a lot of us think like work is living. Like, we can't separate the two.
Right. Um, and what you're talking about, common problem, it's a problem that I suffered from years back. And I think it comes a lot from the fear of missing out.
Okay.
You know? If I don't answer these messages, if people can't contact me in a moment, I'm going to miss out on what they're doing. If the job has something for me and they're calling me, and it's so funny because as much as people can't wait to get away from the office or get away from the work, when they're away, you have a lot of people, they're fair. Oh my goodness, there's something happening at the office. But the thing is, it comes with learning how to delegate, learning how to let go. So a lot of people who have trouble separated from the office are people who feel like the life can't function without them, right? Oh my goodness, what are they going to do without me? I'm not there. And I had a friend who thought like that. And
Yeah.
the reason why I say I had a friend, because
You
unfortunately she passed. She passed
oh,
away. And she passed away at 41 years old. And she was one of these people who always wondered, well, what are they going to do without me? I have to be the one to do this, and I have to be the one. No, you
mm,
can't function in that constant stress and running and whipping. Your body can't take it, your mind can't take it. That's where strokes and heart attacks come from. We have to be able to trust there are other capable people out there. Some of them more capable than us, right? The world will function when we sleep, when we play, when we eat. And guess what? What a lot of people have to realize is that that break that you take makes you even better, right? When you get back into work. A lot of times you hear people say, you gotta be on your grind, right? Gotta hustle hard. So a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of people at work have this thought that you have to constantly be working. You have to, up from sun up to sundown, getting it done, right? But the thing, what happens? Your body gets tired, your mind gets tired. And if you look back at some of the things you did during that time, you see how many silly mistakes you made. Because when you start to get tired, you're not able to focus well, and the mistakes come. So it is actually much better on the productivity, on the results of the work, to push the work aside,
mhm.
take that little fun break, get that little rest, and then when you come back into it, your mind is at 100%.
Yeah,
You're feeling better. You can sit up now. You're able to relate to people better.
I love
It
that.
works.
Yeah. But it's, it's a hard lesson, and I don't think we have to wait until we get, a wake-up call or for something like that to happen, because I know a lot of time we're so used to, a lot of people, I would say job, right? Because sometimes our work is very different from our jobs. I think our job, which is the thing sometimes people do out of necessity or for that paycheck or to make sure that they have
Right.
a roof over their head and so forth, is very different than your work, right? What you do right now,
Yes.
it's calling in your work, right? Your
Right.
life and work. But I think a lot of people's jobs, it's so demanding, it's so stressful. There's a lot of burnout, even in the pandemic, where
Oh,
some people
yes.
have the ability to work from home, but you're still stressed because now you're working more than 40, right? You're working through the night, you're working earlier than usual, and you're staying
Yes.
on your screen. And so I think people are more exhausted, and
Yeah.
they don't take break, they don't take lunch, they weren't even taking
Mhm.
vacation even before the pandemic. And I think now people might feel even more guilty saying, well, I'm working from home, like I shouldn't. But a lot of those times are earned, right? But that's the beautiful thing with some of the people who have who get to have their own business, right? So you can schedule it, and you teaching people how to do that
Right.
instead of, regardless of
Exactly.
what you
Yes. And, I've been working from home for 14 years now. And it is something that you learn. You have to learn how to schedule in those
yeah.
breaks. You have to learn how to schedule lunch. When I was working at an office, I had maybe about two 15-minute breaks during the day, and I had an hour lunch break. And I felt the difference when I first started working from home and just sitting all day in one spot. Then I said, no, 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 this is not good. I got to get up.
Yeah.
Because initially, a lot of times people have the tendency, I'm going to sit at my home desk and I'm going to eat at my desk and all. And yes, and we start to fill out the chairs at our home desk with
Mm.
all this
Hey,
extra
right.
pounds that we start to pack on. It's like, oh my goodness, wait a minute, what happened? I'm a little heavier. So then
Mhm.
it's like, no, let me get up. Let me take a walk,
Yeah.
right? Let me go out and get some air. So what I love to do during the day, I take a little walk through the neighborhood. And not only does that help to keep the weight off, but it also helps me to stay creative as I'm seeing people and saying hello to people and just seeing things, the ideas start to flow. So even though someone may be working from home, no, you still need to take your breaks. You still need to have that hour break that you would have from an office so that you can stay creative and stay well.
I love that. I love that you make it something that's part of your practice, but also showing other people, because I do believe after maybe one, two vacations, it'll start to sink in terms of really let me schedule more than one. And a lot of time I know people take it when it's
Yeah.
urgent, like if there's a family issue, if there's a crisis,
Mhm.
if they have to take the time, like they'll take it. I'm speaking from
Right.
experience. I've had jobs where I never take a vacation. Like if it's not a holiday that's already there or like a long weekend, I think the longest, it wasn't even a break. The longest break I think I have taken because I had to was maternity leave, right? And we know that's not a vacation at all. And that was the only time I felt like, oh, but it was out of necessity. But typically it's just one of those things where I think, I don't know if it's part of the American culture in terms of
Mhm.
we don't even take the time that we've already earned. And I don't even know if most
True.
places really encourage employees to like take the time, like you actually have earned it. And I think there's this fear even in the pandemic that, you know what, if I take the time, I'm putting myself at risk. And I love that you're connecting also the idea of travel as part of our wellness, because that's a way of
Yes.
taking care of ourselves. So in a way, your former provider, travel was the prescription. Right? Can you
Yeah,
imagine? That's a beautiful
definitely.
prescription to have
Definitely.
instead of something. You're like, go, go somewhere. And that's
Yeah.
what you continue doing for other people in terms of what you're looking for is not in a bottle. It's not,
Right.
it's not something that's out of your reach, right? You can literally schedule it and people can work with you. I think what I love the most is for me, you also allow people to reclaim, I love that now, reclaim their time or even claim their time, because I don't feel like I have to worry about all the stuff, the planning and so forth. I think my dream is to be able to have that one of those, many of those destination plan and for me to just show up. I don't want to think
Yes.
about all the
It
details, all that stuff.
it is
You can do that.
beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. And like you said, a lot of people who work their jobs, it's this fear of sometimes not making that money, you know, and you have some jobs, especially ironically,
Mhm.
healthcare, people in
Yeah.
helping professions, people who work in the hospital are the
Mhm.
main ones who work double shifts, right?
Mhm.
They feel
Yeah.
like they're working double overtime because they're able to trade in the vacation time and the sick time for extra pay.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I used to work at one of the major hospitals out here in New York. And I worked there for maybe about a year and a half. And it was the worst job I ever had in my life.
Ever.
And because I saw so many people die. And
Mhm.
it's the craziest thing. Like every other week, I would see a sign posted on the wall about someone who died. And it
Mm-mm.
wasn't the patients that came into the hospital sick, it was the staff.
Yes.
And the saddest thing about it, when they spoke about these people, they never even told you the person's name. This is how
Mm.
they're like, oh, the guy who used to mop. Well, he died with the mop in his hand.
Wow.
The officer, the security officer, he fell. He just fell and he was dead. So this is how people tell the story. These are
Hmm.
the co-workers that they've seen every day. Because a lot of people who work in the hospital, like I said, you're able to get that overtime pay and the money is very nice,
Yeah.
right? But
It
you're
is. Yeah.
sacrificing your health
Yeah.
for
There's a
that
price.
money.
There's a price.
And to imagine getting a call, like nobody wants to imagine that. You're getting a call that your loved one went to work
Mhm.
and died on the job. And I had a close call. I have a brother who worked at the hospital. He went to work on Friday. with his bag. And I told him, I said, no, you don't take luggage to work. You take luggage to vacation, right? And he went to work on Friday and he stayed there Saturday and he came home Sunday. Monday, he had trouble waking up. He had a massive stroke, bleeding on the brain. And we found out later that was from staying up all that time and not getting the proper sleep, and the pressure had rose so high. So a lot of people don't realize these things when they pushing themselves. They're just thinking, I gotta push because I gotta make the money. I gotta push, I gotta pay my bill, I gotta do this. Think about that little Energizer bunny with the little battery, right? It's boom, boom, boom. The battery stops.
Yeah.
We don't want to be the ones with the battery stop, because for us, the physical body, that battery that's stopping is our heart. The battery that's stopping, is what's leading to that stroke.
Yeah.
So not only is the vacation fun and exciting, it is definitely essential for your health. And I think that a lot of times, unfortunately, when people think about vacation, they think about this lavish experience and it's going to cost all this money. It doesn't have to be all these thousands upon thousands of dollars that you spend on vacation. You can take a drive from one state to the next and get a nice little weekend getaway, where you have that time to relax, de-stress, and restore yourself. A lot of people are so stressed out over so many different things. No, let me tell you, one of my friends, when I first started with the travel, I actually felt very guilty. I wasn't the woman that you see today. I felt guilty because, having been a social worker, I felt that was the important work. Sitting with clients and providing counseling and putting assessments together. And when I started with travel, I honestly felt that this was silly. What's this silly stuff I'm doing? I used to do real important life work, right? Until I started hearing from my travel clients what the vacation did for them. And it was one of my friends, a longtime friend. It was so incredible because the trip that she asked me for was far from a travel agent's dream. When you are a travel agent and you have someone call you and say, what's the dirt cheapest trip that you can get from me, right? We don't get excited about that. Right, because they're basically saying, I don't have no money to go on the trip. What's the cheapest thing? You don't get excited, right? But guess what? Thank goodness that the type of person I am, in that lowest price, I'm still looking for that best experience for you. So a friend of mine called me and she said, I need to go away this weekend. I need you to find me the dirt cheapest price. I said, okay. And I looked for the best experience I could find her for that price. And I found a trip where the hotel was like $45. They were having some type of crazy sale for the night. But guess what she told me when she came back from that trip? She told me that she needed to get away because she was so overwhelmed. And she told me that she was actually contemplating suicide. But when she was on that trip, she had a chance to be in solitude and to walk and to pray and to cry and to get her thoughts together. And she looked me in the eye and she said, you saved my life. And I said, wow, I did not see that coming. And I went home and I cried like a baby. And I was like, thank you, Lord, that I took her request seriously.
Yeah. You're still a social worker, Victoria.
Yeah. Yes. And that's the thing. Yes, that's the thing. And it was a stranger who told me. I was on a cruise one time. And, and that's another nice thing about travel, because when you're traveling, you're meeting people. It's not about race. People who are on vacation, you don't have all that racial hatred. You don't have all these issues. We're out, we're laughing, talking to one another. I was speaking to a gentleman and telling him, oh, I did social work and now I'm doing this. And, it was, something that I felt guilty about. And he told me, this stranger says to me, he said, Miss, my doctor told me that if I didn't take vacation soon, that I would have a heart attack. And he told me that his wife was tired of him being at the office all the time, and that his kids were always asking, well, Daddy, when are you going to be here for us? And this stranger, who, if I had seen him today, I probably wouldn't even know that was the same man, but he changed my life. He told me, he says, Miss,
wow,
when you send somebody like me on vacation, you are saving a life. And he told me, he said, there's more than one way to help someone. And those words helped me so much, because at that point, I was no longer looking back at social work. I looked at ways that I can help people with travel, help them have positive experience, and to just really, create lifetime memories.
that's amazing. But it's all, and then you did it for you. You do it for other people. Then you meet other people who remind you and reaffirm, like you
Yes.
are doing your life's work, and you're still being a social worker and counseling and helping those who are caregivers, caretakers, frontline workers, and it's something that's gonna continue. And I love that now you yourself, it's like, okay, it's not something you just do and it's done. We can talk a little bit. We're gonna be wrapping up about how you're using the journal, which I'm hoping is like your favorite thing,
Yes.
because you had a
Oh.
few favorite that allows you to really take back your power, take back and be stand up for Victoria. And
Yes.
be like, okay, that's a no. I'm not doing this. So which one, what have you been trying from the planting seeds
I,
journal?
yes, I am loving my planting seeds journal. And when you look at the affirmations to center and uplift, there are a couple of them that resonate with me. But number 38, it says, I am worthy of restorative rest. Right?
Love
So,
it.
folks, translation, you have permission to take vacation.
West.
And then for 37, it says, I boldly say yes to me first.
Me first. Yes.
And then for number 28, it says, I claim and reclaim my nose unapologetically.
Okay.
So basically, what that means to me is we have a right to rest and restore. And we have to know for ourselves what we can and cannot say yes and no to. And the more I'm aware of what to say yes and no to, the happier and healthier I become.
Yes.
Right? And the thing is, there are some opportunities that might be good. But guess what? I have to say no, because I want to be great. And if I say yes to all these little things, it's going to get into the way of me being great, because I don't have the time and the energy to devote to everything. And people get upset, and sometimes feelings get hurt.
Yes.
But I say unapologetically, no, that doesn't fit into my goals. That doesn't fit into what I'm trying to do right now. And then I just pause. There was a time it would be, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, but I can't do this. If you need me to do this, now it's like, no.
That's a sentence, Victoria. That's a whole sentence right there.
Exactly. And then guess what? Saying no, I can't feels a lot better than saying yes when you're overwhelmed And then you have those stress things in the shoulder and the stress of the neck, and so because you're trying to figure out, okay, how I'm going to do all of this.
Yeah.
Why did I say yes when I meant no? Why did
Yeah.
I say yes when I have all these other things on my plate? And then you're trying to figure out instead of just saying no.
And leave it there. Leave it there. And I think that's a great thing to continue. And knowing you have to do that on a daily basis for you, for your peace of mind, for your joy, for your sanity,
Yes.
for your own sanity, right? And to continue because the guilt is real. So I'm grateful you were able to join us today. I want our viewers and listeners to know, where can we find you? Where are you on social media? Because I know some people are looking and itching to go somewhere this year after surviving 2+ years in the pandemic. And now we treat, that's one of my favorite words. We
Yes.
treat combined with wellness and joy. Ah,
Yeah.
so where are you on social media?
Well, definitely. You can find me on Facebook as Victoria Falk. My business page is Passionate Travel Inc. I'm on Instagram, Passionate Travel Inc. I'm on LinkedIn as Victoria Falk. I'm on TikTok, Passionate
Woo!
Travel Inc. We are staying consistent. And if you want to check the
Okay.
website, it is passionatetraveliinc.com.
Passionate travel. Yeah. So find
Yeah.
Victoria, get that vacation, get that time. And it doesn't have to be super long.
No.
Um, it doesn't have to be long. So make the time, Um, make the time. And so I am grateful you get to teach us this. And I'm looking forward to my next trip. I haven't gone anywhere in a long time. And of course, to tie that in with self care and wellness, the idea of reminding people that they are worthy of rest, they are worthy of celebrating themselves, they are worthy of saying yes to themselves. And we get to do that together. And knowing that
Yeah.
you're also worthy of self care, self love, and all the goodness that comes with that. So thank you, Victoria, for what you do and helping us literally live fuller lives, I think, by traveling and discovering what
Yeah.
truly brings us joy. So I hope everyone enjoyed learning more about traveling. Connect with Victoria, connect with us here. I'm hoping we'll do more. You'll see Victoria again. We'll come back with more tips and goodies throughout the seasons. And thank you so much for planting seeds and be so supportive and also wellness. We've done so many series and conversation about wellness. And then
Yeah.
we are embarking on talking about relationships, which is the other major
Yeah.
thing as part of our wellness and everything that we are doing. So I'm excited to see what comes next for you and our community. And I'm hoping the weekend you get more rest. It's not just today that you're going to continue taking that rest, that you are worthy and you
Yeah.
have permission to rest. Well deserved. Restorative rest. We all need that. So thank you everyone for watching. I am Marie and I'll see you next time.